Welcome to a new episode of me showing you some of my collectibles. Now, today is a little bit different. I'm not going through my regular collectibles. This time I wanted to go through some of the figures or items I got through Kickstarter. Now, some remember that I did a small video about some smaller Kickstarter items, but this time I'm really only concentrating on figures, figurines, and also a plush toy, but you will see what I mean when we get to that. So yeah, let's get started with the first item. The first item was from the premium box of Wasteland 2 from In Exile, and yeah, this came in a nice tin box, a little bit like an ammo box. And yeah, there was a small miniature of Wasteland 2 Ranger in there. And yeah, when I first heard or read about it, I really wasn't sure, because to be honest, I saw many of these kind of figurines, and mostly they weren't that great, to be honest. I have some, and I have some that I really like. I have some from Prey, and also the Morrowind one I really enjoyed. So yeah, I didn't expect anything from this one, and what we got was this very small Ranger. I try to get it in the camera that you can see it. I don't know how good you can really make it out, but yeah, I was really surprised how detailed this figure was in the end, and it has a nice size to it. It could be used if you're a tabletop gamer. I think it could be used for small games in some case. I haven't tried it, so if there are people using them for something like that, please don't send me hate mails. I'm just talking about this. So yeah, it's a really nice small mini figurine, and the only thing I've really find sad about this one, that it's just gray plastic. I didn't want. I don't mean it should have been colored or painted in some case, but I said the other figures or the miniatures that I have were all made of metal, and yeah, it really would be great if this was also one had put it to them, because some of the points, like the gun, when you have them as plastic, they're very fragile. If you just put, they're flexible, and if you don't take care of them, they bend and break up. So yeah, it's this is the only negative point I have about this one. But yeah, it's a nice small collectible, and if you like these kind of figures, it's really neat. And I think if you're a little bit talented in painting, you can get something really great out of, or make something really great out of it. So yeah, this is the smallest one I wanted to show you today. Now we come, like I said, to a plush toy. This one comes, or let's say this way, some people might know the company Clay Entertainment. Some years ago they did a small game called Don't Starve, and Eric Scarecrow did or the company from Eric Scarecrow, they went with them. Then they did a small plush toy of the character of Chester. A small, I don't know how to put it. It's something like a small chest that's a living chest that's walking with you in the game. And to be honest, I knew the game at that point, but I never have played it. But after seeing the design of this one, I just had to get it, and this is, and most people have already seen it. If you follow my videos, I think you have seen it, because it's always on the side of my couch where I sit, and normally it's in frame if I don't reposition the camera. So yeah, let's see if I can get this one totally in the frame. Yeah, this is this is just a small plush toy. I know how this looks. It looks very like some kind of rat with horns, without eyes, with a big tongue. But I love this one in so many ways. It's a very fun plush to look at, and yeah, it can be opened, and you can put stuff in there if you want to. And to be really honest, the quality of this one is really great. I wasn't sure when it was at the beginning of my Kickstarter phase, and I already had some things that I was a little bit disappointed about, and yeah, I was looking forward to it, and I love the fake fur that I got. Also, the legs, they're really, I don't know how good you can see it, but the quality, the stitches, everything, really, it's really done great. The legs don't feel loose. Again, the fur really feels very fine and good on. The horns are they aren't loose. You can't get them away. I love how they did stitches around the horns to get the black on. Also, the teeth, something that's normally, if you get cheap versions of these plush toys, that's something that gets loose any second, but they're really fitted in there, that if you touch them, you feel that they're really tight in, or stitched very tight in there. There are no loose threads or something like that. And yeah, even the badge is really if you can see it, it's stitched really great in there. So yeah, it's a really a neat small plush toy, great quality. And if you're a fan of Don't Starve and Chester, I would say this is a great thing to get. And it's not the only thing you get. You'll get also the eye bone, and again, it's the same like I said, the same quality than the Chester one. It's if you can see everything, nothing, no loose threads, you can't see any wrong stitches. Everything works out great. It feels fantastic. So yeah, it's definitely one I'm really happy to have, and definitely fantastic work. But this wasn't the only one I got with the package or the tier I got. This one was also that I was able to get a blind, one of the Don't Starve blind bag collectibles, but a limited version of the WX78 figure. And no, I won't unpackage this one. This one is a special version of this specific character, and I don't know if you can read it down there. It's a very brittle thing, and I have heard that there were cases where the normal versions already snapped. So I won't try it out. I love the box. The box really looks great, and so yeah, I only have the box on my shelf and not the figure, even if I really would love to see it, but I don't want to unpackage this one, just for the reason because I know I would hate me when something happens to that one. So yeah, but again, great. I just wanted to show this one as an extra bit. So now we come to two figures, and the story about these two are, how to put it, one is, the first one I will show you now, is one I really wanted to have after seeing it, and the second one I just bought because I wanted to support the creator of the Kickstarter project. And yeah, the first one I wanted to have is the one I'm really disappointed in so many ways. And before we begin, let's show you the box, because the box is, I have to say, I really love the box. It's from the Fairy Quest 2 Outcast Kickstarter project, and there was the possibility to get a small statue of the characters Red and Mr. W. And after receiving this box in my mail, I was so happy because the box looks amazing. This the figure was created by Rabia, a Mexican company for figures, and yeah, again, I really enjoy the box art, and I was so hoping to get to really see a great figure in this one, because the photos that were in the Kickstarter campaign, they really looked great, and I really was looking forward to it. I received this box, and the first thing that happened when I opened it, I immediately closed the box again. Why was that? Because this very chemical smell that came out of the box. They said that this figure was already made some years prior, and they only had to ship it from their storage. But I had the feeling they were created anew. They had to be reproduced, because this was this is the smell that came from this box was like if you're buying some cheap Chinese things in some cases, and you get this smell of this very cheap plastic and paint. And it took me nearly, I think, don't let me lie, I think nearly 6 months before I was able to take this figure out the first time without stinking my whole room of this really bad plasticky smell. And then I saw the figure. Now I will show you the figure in whole, and now at first glance this small statue doesn't look that bad, and to be honest, I really love the sculpture of Mr. W, and or the wolf in this case. It's done really great. I really love the head of it. But this is just something you will be, how to put it, distracted from the rest of the figure. The first thing you will immediately see after that if you look closer to Red over here and her hand in his fur, it looks like the hand is just going through the fur or is melting with the fur. And also the paint job on her is really not that great. There are splooges on some, like I said, on the hand part, and also I think her face, it doesn't look that right. I know the camera doesn't really capture that, what I'm talking about, but just believe me, I'm not really sure what it is that the paint on the head of our wolfy friend here looks really great. I love the way his teeth look, but here they did such a bad job, and it's going through the whole part of the base. If you look closely, if you look at the tail, there are splooges, and it's everywhere. Just look at these points. And this really makes me sad, because this was a figure I was really looking forward to. And the next thing that really shocked me a little bit about this one was the quality. I just talked about the quality of the paint, but this one, how to put it? Firstly, it's for a statue. It's really light. It's like these cheap garden gnomes you can get, but it's not only that. It has this feeling. If you I don't know if you can hear it. It's hollow, and sometimes it feels like some dog chewing toy. I don't know what it is. It's not really. It feels like you can bend it, but you can't. It's very hard to describe, but it's a very. I'm really not sure. This one was a really big disappointment. I know on camera it looks fine, but if you have the possibility to check this one out for yourself, you see what I mean. Maybe it's just it's just this one figure that I had or I got that has all these problems, but somehow I doubt it. And after looking at the webpage of Rabia, I was really shocked, because on their page the figures all look really great, but after seeing this one, I'm really not that sure if this is really a high quality figure that like they said in the Kickstarter project. For me, it's like a Chinese knockoff in so many ways. So yeah, it's at the end it was the whole Kickstarter was disappointment, but in this case we'd only talk about the figure or the statue in this case, and yeah, for me this was one of the biggest disappointments I had with Kickstarter in all these years I'm now participating there. This brings us to the last figure I wanted to show you. Now, the last figure is from a character to be honest, I'm not that big a fan of. It's a character that came in a visual novel called Max Big Bust, and I really enjoyed this one. This one was by Locked Up Games and an Australian developer, and I really enjoyed the game. But yeah, this was a character it didn't do much for me. Now, why do I have a figure of this one? Very easy, because the creator did another Kickstarter and for his new game where this character was the main protagonist, and sadly, the Kickstarter didn't hit its goal, but he said that, or let's say this way, he did a small batch of figures, or very limited run of figures of the main character, and because he thought to get them all over Kickstarter, but at the end he had to sell them afterwards, just as standalones. And I really enjoyed Max Big Bust, and I thought, yeah, I backed for this game, but not for the figure itself. And I thought, yeah, I wanted to support him in this way. So I bought this figure, and when it arrived, I have to say it really surprised me, because the quality overall of this figure was not what I was expecting. Now I will show you the box, and I'm warning you, this box is overall pink, a lot of pink. Yeah, this is the main character Bree of this new game of him, Bree. Aluna and Bree and the Tentacle Menace. Sorry, yeah, and I know this is, if you look closely on the box, you can see that the figure is some kind shown here, and believe me, on this picture the figure looks very bad. But in the Kickstarter they only showed the prototype of it, and I wasn't really sure about it. But like I said, I wasn't looking forward to this figure. It was really just I wanted to support this developer because it does a really great job. And I got this figure, I unboxed it, and what I got was this very nice figure of the character. And I tried to show it a little bit more in the camera so you can see it. The first thing that I have to say, for such a limited figure, or for any kind of figure, she really looks great. The detail work is great. The coloring is great. There are really no color mistakes. There are no splooges. They did a great job. If you look at the hair, all the small details going from totally pink to this very light pink at the end. The details on her bow, on her back. Her face is sculpted really great. I love her staff with the small crystal on top of it, and yeah, overall it's a fantastically done figure. Also, the base, I'm holding it now. This is not just a plastic disc. The base has some weight to it, so you don't or you don't have that or the possibility to knock her over isn't really that easy. It's very low in this case. Also, I tried. If I look if I can get her off the base again, you can see it's very heavy. You have a metal pin or peg down there. So also, meaning we have a metal frame in the figure, meaning she doesn't bend that easily. And also underneath the base we have the logo, oops, on the on the head, and also this isn't plastic. This is a very, very fine, how do you say it, yeah, the word is from my, but you know what I mean. This isn't plastic. This is cloth, very, very thin cloth, but very, very great. So it's, if you would see this one somewhere, you really would think this one is done by a bigger company, not in the high quality range. Don't get me wrong, but if you see this is I think from the perspective of a collector, it's a very great beginner's figure. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, even if I don't like even if the character isn't my favorite character. Let's say it this way. The figure is done really great, and if you see this figure and think it's something you really enjoy, you can contact the creator if he still has them. I think he did only run from 300. I'm not that sure, but I'm not sure if there are still some available. But if you have the possibility, this one, even if it has a high price, I will say that to you it's 300 Australian dollars. I think it's somewhere between 200 and 250 normal dollars. But yeah, it's a very great quality for an indie figure in this case. So this was one of my let's say most positive rewards or tiers I got over Kickstarter, and yeah, this was all I got at the moment from Kickstarter with figures. There are some more plushies coming the way, but I will show them in separate videos. This was just to get some of these figures just out of my way to start or to continue with my normal figures. So thanks for watching, goodbye, and see you next time.